Google, it's become a verb, a reflex. Need information? Google it. Lost your way? Google Maps? Email a friend? Gmail probably. This ubiquity is at the heart of one of the biggest legal battles in modern history, the US government versus Google. The question at hand is whether Google has become too dominant, too powerful for its own good and for the good of the market. For years, whispers of Google's unchecked power have circulated in the tech world and beyond. Critics, including rivals, consumer groups, and even former Google employees, have voiced concerns. Their worry? That Google, with its fingers in countless pies, has stifled competition, squashed innovation, and perhaps even manipulated the very information we consume. Now, the US government is taking those concerns to court. In a landmark antitrust case, the Department of Justice is attempting to do what was once unthinkable: break up Google. This case is not just about one company, it's about the very structure of the digital age. It's about whether the internet, once a beacon of open access and limitless potential, will be controlled by a select few. As the antitrust case unfolds, the future of the internet hangs in the balance. To understand the gravity of the government's case against Google, it's essential to look at the current search engine landscape. According to a 2021 report by Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, Google holds a dominant position in key parts of the ad tech supply chain. It is estimated that more than 90% of ad impressions traded via the ad tech supply chain pass through at least one Google service in 2020. In search engine space, as of February 2024, Google holds a staggering 90% of the market share. This dominance is not just a number, it signifies the overwhelming influence Google has over what information we see and how we see it. Let's break it down. Bing, Microsoft's search engine, comes in a distant second with just 3.96% of the market. Following Bing, we have Yandex, a popular choice in Russia, holding 1.35%. Yahoo and Baidu, significant players in their respective regions, manage only 0.81% and 0.77% respectively. And then there's DuckDuckGo, the privacy-focused alternative, with a mere 0.53%. These numbers reveal a stark reality. Despite the availability of alternatives, Google's dominance is virtually unchallenged. This level of control allows Google to shape the digital landscape in ways that can stifle competition and innovation. It raises questions about the diversity of information we access and the fairness of the online marketplace. Pause 1S. As we delve deeper into the government's case against Google, keep these statistics in mind. They are not just figures, they represent the broader context of a digital world where one company has an unprecedented level of control. Pause 2S. In the next section, we'll explore why the government has decided to take legal action against Google and what they hope to achieve.
The US government's case against Google boils down to one core accusation: abuse of monopoly power. This isn't just a simple legal battle, it's a clash of titans, with the government aiming to rein in what it sees as an overreach by one of the world's most powerful tech companies.
The Department of Justice argues that Google has leveraged its dominance in search and advertising to stifle competition and harm consumers. This isn't a new concern. For years, critics have pointed out that Google's vast reach and influence could potentially be used to unfairly edge out competitors. How exactly has Google allegedly done this? The details are complex, but the DOJ has laid out a comprehensive case. The DOJ points to several key areas. One of the primary accusations is that Google has manipulated its search algorithms to prioritize its own products and services. First, they argue that Google has rigged its search results to favor its own products and services, even if those offerings aren't the best or most relevant for users. This means that when you search for something, you're more likely to see Google's own products at the top of the list, regardless of whether they're the best option available. This practice, according to the DOJ, not only frustrates users but also undermines the very principle of fair competition. Users might not even realize they're being steered towards Google's products, thinking they're getting the best results when, in fact, they're not. This, the DOJ claims, shuts out competitors and limits consumer choice. Smaller companies and startups find it nearly impossible to compete when they're buried in search results, making it hard for them to reach potential customers. This is where alternatives like DuckDuckGo come into play. DuckDuckGo was created to offer a more privacy-focused search experience, free from the influence of advertising and tracking. Unlike Google, DuckDuckGo doesn't track your search history or manipulate results to favor its own services. It aims to provide unbiased search results, giving users a genuine alternative to Google's dominance.
Second, the government alleges that Google has used its control over the digital advertising market to its advantage. This isn't just about search results, it's about the entire ecosystem of online advertising. By acting as both the dominant platform for buying and selling ads and a major player in the creation of ad content, Google has positioned itself in a way that could potentially stifle competition and innovation in the digital ad space. Google has created a conflict of interest, the DOJ argues. When one company controls so many aspects of the market, it can set the rules to benefit itself, often at the expense of others. This allows Google to prioritize its own ad business, potentially driving up prices for advertisers and limiting the reach of competitors' ads. Advertisers might find themselves paying more for less effective placements, while smaller competitors struggle to get their ads seen at all. The result is a marketplace where Google holds all the cards, making it difficult for others to compete on a level playing field. This could lead to higher costs for businesses and, ultimately, higher prices for consumers. According to The Drum, Google controls around 29% of the global digital ad market, a dominance bolstered by its acquisition of DoubleClick in 2008. This acquisition allowed Google to integrate its ad services, further solidifying its market position.
The government's lawsuit against Google is not just about technicalities, it's about fundamental principles of fair competition. The outcome of this case could have far-reaching implications for the tech industry and beyond. The DOJ is essentially arguing that Google has strayed too far from its "Don't Be Evil" motto, becoming the very gatekeeper it once vowed to dismantle. This case is a test of whether the principles of fair competition can stand up to the power of a tech giant. As the legal battle unfolds, it will be closely watched by other tech companies, regulators, and consumers alike. The stakes are high, and the outcome could reshape the landscape of the digital world for years to come. To understand the government's case against Google, we need to delve deeper into the specifics of the antitrust charges. The term antitrust might sound like a relic from the past, but it has never been more relevant. At its core, antitrust law exists to prevent monopolistic practices and ensure fair competition. In Google's case, the Department of Justice, DOJ, has outlined several key areas where it believes the company has crossed the line. One of the primary charges revolves around Google's search engine dominance. The DOJ argues that Google has used exclusive agreements to ensure its search engine is the default choice on billions of devices worldwide. This means that whether you're using an Android phone, an Apple device, or even some web browsers, Google's search engine is often the default option. This practice, according to the DOJ, effectively locks out competitors and cements Google's monopoly. Another significant area of concern is Google's advertising practices. The digital ad market is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and Google controls a substantial portion of it. The DOJ alleges that Google has used its dominant position to manipulate ad auctions, favoring its own ad products and services. This not only harms competitors, but also advertisers who may end up paying more for less effective ad placements. Moreover, the DOJ points to Google's acquisition strategy as a method to eliminate competition. By buying out potential rivals, Google has been able to integrate new technologies and services into its ecosystem, further consolidating its power. This strategy has raised alarms among regulators who fear that such acquisitions stifle innovation and limit consumer choice. The antitrust charges also highlight the impact on consumers. When a single company controls such a significant portion of the market, it can dictate terms that may not always be in the best interest of users. The DOJ argues that Google's practices have led to higher costs for advertisers, which can trickle down to consumers in the form of higher prices for goods and services. Additionally, the lack of competition can stifle innovation, leading to fewer choices and potentially lower quality products for users. It's important to note that these charges are part of a broader trend of increasing scrutiny on big tech companies. Governments around the world are re-evaluating the role of these digital giants in the economy and society. The outcome of the Google case could set a precedent for future antitrust actions, not just in the United States, but globally. As we watch this legal battle unfold, it's clear that the stakes are incredibly high. The case against Google isn't just about one company. It's about the future of the tech industry and the principles of fair competition. The decisions made in this case could reshape the digital landscape and have far-reaching consequences for businesses and consumers alike. The antitrust charges against Google are complex and multifaceted, but they boil down to a fundamental question. Can one company wield so much power without stifling competition and harming consumers? The answer to this question will have profound implications for the tech industry and beyond. The government's case against Google is more than just a legal battle. It's a seismic event that could reshape the technological landscape. This case is not just about one company, it's about the future of the tech industry as a whole. The potential consequences of this case are enormous, with the potential to impact everything from the way we search for information to the prices we pay for goods and services online. Imagine a world where the digital ecosystem is no longer dominated by a single entity. The ripple effects of this case could be felt across the globe, influencing not just tech companies but also consumers, businesses, and even governments. The interconnected nature of our digital world means that changes in one area can have far-reaching consequences, with the potential to impact everything from the way we search for information to the prices we pay for goods and services online. The stakes are incredibly high. Our daily interactions with technology could be fundamentally altered. The prices we pay for goods and services online could see significant changes. Increased competition might drive prices down, but it could also lead to a more fragmented market with varying levels of service and quality.
One of the most immediate and obvious impacts of a potential Google breakup would be increased competition in the tech industry. Smaller companies and startups would have a fighting chance to gain a foothold in markets previously dominated by the tech giant. With Google's vast empire divided, the tech landscape could become more diverse and competitive. This could lead to a surge in innovation as new players enter the market with fresh ideas and perspectives. Smaller companies and startups would have a fighting chance to gain a foothold in markets previously dominated by the tech giant. This could democratize the tech industry, making it more accessible to new entrants. This could lead to more innovation, lower prices, and a greater diversity of choices for consumers. The increased competition could drive companies to develop new and improved products and services. Consumers could benefit from a wider range of options and potentially lower prices. The increased competition could lead to better deals and more innovative products.
However, breaking up Google wouldn't be without its risks. The process of dismantling such a large and complex company could be fraught with challenges and unintended consequences. Some experts argue that dismantling the company could stifle innovation, as the separate entities might not have the same resources or incentives to invest in cutting-edge research and development. The loss of synergy could hinder technological advancements, as the separate entities might not have the same resources or incentives to invest in cutting-edge research and development. The pace of innovation could slow down. The collaborative environment that fosters breakthroughs might be disrupted. Others worry that a breakup could lead to a fragmented internet, with different Google services operating independently and potentially incompatible with one another. This could create a disjointed user experience. With different Google services operating independently and potentially incompatible with one another, users might face challenges in accessing and integrating various services. The seamless experience we currently enjoy could be compromised. The outcome of the Google antitrust case will have profound and lasting impacts on the tech industry, the economy, and the very way we live our lives online. The stakes are high, and the world is watching closely as this legal drama unfolds. The decisions made in this case could set precedents for future antitrust actions and shape the regulatory landscape for years to come. The very way we live our lives online could be transformed. From how we communicate to how we shop and entertain ourselves, the implications are vast. The digital lifestyle we've become accustomed to could undergo significant changes. The stakes are high, and the world is watching closely as this legal drama unfolds. The outcome will be a landmark moment in the history of technology and regulation, with the potential to redefine the balance of power in the digital age.